A very, very, very warm welcome to all of you, especially our panelists, because this session is going to be certainly extremely, engaging, as well as in a very different format it will be. I will expect that if you can keep your your mic on mute mode, that will be really great. And we will wait for maybe some 1 or 2 minutes more, and then we will begin because still people are joining in. So let's wait for a while. In till the time, let me also share more about us, that is ProTouch. First of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Aparna Sethi. I come with 20 years of experience and spend time in various industries like manufacturing, service industry, education, and I'm one of the founder member of ProTouch. However, I look after, majorly corporate training business in ProTouch, and as well as internally, I look after all the HR related strategies in ProTouch. So very quickly about ProTouch. ProTouch is one of the most admired talent transformational and reskilling organizations. We enable organization for business growth and work majorly on organizational cultural side of it. ProTouch is an ISO 9001 2015 certified company, and our mission is to improve business productivity and enhance leadership development across organization. So just to brief you, um, ProTouch has got three verticals. The first vertical is PPT, that is ProTouch Professional Training, under which we are giving various certification programs like HR Generalist, HR Analysis, uh, Analytics for Managers, POSH, TTT, that is Prevention of Sexual Harassment at Workplace. So these are various programs we give under the umbrella of ProTouch Professional Training. The another division of ProTouch is ProTouch Corporate Training, that is PCT, under which we give programs like emotional intelligence, gender sensitization, POSH, and various sales leadership related programs. So that is all about PCT. And another program which we have that is vertical is PET, that is ProTouch Executive Training Program, where we are associated with institutes like IIM, Accelerate, through our business partners like Times of India, and provide, we have become their academic and infrastructure partners. So that is all about ProTouch. Without wasting time, I have taken exactly 3 minutes time. Today, it's a very different feeling altogether because those who are very, attending ProTouch programs since long time must have seen our guest speakers. Our guest speakers are generally very, very senior level people. However, however, we receive one feedback, and the feedback is, madam, they have seen their careers, right? Those who have got 15, 20 years of experience. Maybe there was a time change. Now, for example, the time before 10 years or 15 years was completely different. And today's time is completely different. The way industry is moving, the way careers are shaping up are in a completely different format. So we would like to have more insights on that. And thank you for that feedback. And today you can see the youngest participants of ProTouch webinar series. We have Adiba and we have Mahima. Welcome, Adiba and Mahima. It is wonderful to share this platform with you because once upon a time, I have seen you in my training sessions as a participant, and today you are here to share your story with all of us. Thank you so much for that. Let me also introduce them one by one. Let me take you through with Adiba's profile. Of course, Adiba will share her journey with you. But what is prominent thing about Adiba is she's an engineer basically, then moved to HR, and then she currently is working with she's working with Dr. Reddy's as a L&D partner. Isn't it wonderful? She is extremely young. Having said that, we have worked also together because she has worked with ProTouch also as an intern. And believe me, the journey with her was, I still relish those memories. And extremely hardworking, focused, and she has a zeal to go ahead in her life. In fact, the first book, Where to Draw the Line, which I published, it all conceptualization started with Adiba's and my dialogue. Welcome, Adiba. Welcome to the session today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Aparna, for having me here. And thank you for your kind words. It's a pleasure to be here completely.
Believe me, I'm not getting the right words also to, express my experience today. And we have another participant. She is Mahima. Mahima's story is completely different. Mahima believes in continuous learning. If you go through her LinkedIn profile, you will see how much time she has invested in learning. And I will say that once you will go through her profile, then only you will get to know a lot of things. She has a bachelor's degree in information technology. Just imagine. And currently, she is working with Accenture. Don't you think it's a great thing to see that she's also having her career in HR? So, welcome. Welcome, Mahima. And very nice. Once upon a time, you used to be in my session. Today, we are sharing the platform. How are you feeling?
Ma'am, I'm really feeling good and thank you very much. I really feel privileged to be here as one of the panelists and going to speak on such a wonderful topic. And I just thank you wholeheartedly for having me here and as one of the panelists. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And to all the participants, just to tell you that how the program, today's session will go. First, we will have briefing about them, their journey and all. But feel free to put your questions in the chat box. So in between, if I find it that, okay, this is the right time to ask this question, I will take up the question there and there only. If not, then we will take it even at the end of the session. And believe me, today's session is going to be extremely informal, where you youngsters are going to ask a lot of questions and we will try to, answer it in our own capacity. Okay. So this is how the session will go on. Feel free to ask your questions related to your career. Okay. And if you have something else, that also you can ask, but we will see whether it is relevant here or not. Okay. Great. So the first question to you, and I would like to ask this to Adiba. Adiba, you come from an engineering background, isn't it? So I would like to know, where did you find this love for HR?
Yes, ma'am. So I started my career as an electronics and communication engineer. So I was studying electronics, and it's during that time I realized that electronics is not something that really interests me. So it's people that interest me a lot. But I really did not know where to start from initially when I was just completing my education. So what I did was whatever skills I had at that time, and I thought it's more of writing and communication. So I'll use that and start my career. So I started with Naukri.com as my first organization. And from there, I moved to a startup where, because as it is with startup, that you get a chance to experience different things. So that is where my love for HR also came in, because I got small assignments to work on, which were around HR. And that's the point in my life where I realized that, okay, HR is something that really interests me. but I was still not very sure like what in HR I'll do. And that's when the HR generalist course by ProTouch came into the entire picture. So I thought that I need something which will give me a holistic understanding of what comes in HR so that I can experiment and see where I fit in. And that's how I started my experimentations with first with ProTouch, then getting internships and trying different aspects of HR to land here.
So one thing, Adiba, when you wanted to join, you joined one startup, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. So
What are the things, I mean, what are the thoughts went in your mind? Because everyone wants to join today the big name.
yeah, so initially, like I said, I was started with Naukri.com. So it was a big brand and a very structured environment. But with the startup, the advantage was that you can experiment and do more than one role. So it is a risky proposition, but you get to experiment a lot there. So it's not just that you fixate on one kind of role. If you're not very clear what you can do or what will be your skill sets that are best for you, then a startup provides that kind of platform because you can be useful in many spaces as there are less people when you're starting in. So that sort of advantage comes with the startup.
I think you said it right because, I was having a career coaching in last week and the girl was very, very confused. And she said, oh my God, so much work they gave it to me. And, first they asked me to do recruitment, then they asked me to do onboarding. Then after that, they also asked me to look after business development. And that is the beauty of startup, isn't it? That while hiring also sometimes startups don't know what is going to be the profile, and slowly gradually looking at person's competence, I think the role also get evolved, and that is where you can enter in different territories, and you can figure out your blind spot, isn't it, Adiba?
Definitely, ma'am. So I think that I got a chance not just to work in HR, but in communications, in sales, in business development, in product development, in campus hiring. I think like there were so many areas that I could touch in such a small period of time because there was so much of things that were available. So I know that startups sound a bit abstract, but if you're open to learning, there can be no better avenue to understand your skill set also better.
Amazing. I can totally relate to that because I'm running one startup. So, I can completely relate to that. Yes, Mahima, how was your journey? How did you get to know that HR is the area in which I would like to make my career?
Ma'am, as you briefed that I come from an information technology background. So I have also done engineering in IT.
Okay.
And when I was in my college, when I was in my engineering school, my first job was in an organization where I was campus placed. So basically, I was more into co-curricular activities in my college times, which was centric to oration and managing events and such kind of co-curricular activities.
Okay.
I came first time had a exposure of what HR as a function is when companies started to visit our college campus for placements. I loved the way how the HR panel came, interacted with us. They were giving presentations, making us feel comfortable. Basically, what I could understand is that an HR is the face of that organization. And what as students we understand is their voice is the voice of that organization. This is what we have a perspective of as an HR. And basically, not to berate any other department or considering them any less, HR just clicked me. It was like I felt that this is the thing that I feel I should do. This is quite appealing.
So, did you get attracted to that power?
No, ma'am, not that power, but just that human touch and that behavioral element that this profile has. It is the only profile I feel that which has this behavioral element in it, that human touch, being good to people, interacting with people. Once I joined the organization, I understood that HR is not only centric to recruitment, but HRs are also involved in onboarding. They are a part of learning and development. They are a part of every process that an organization has, and they are really vital. And that is what I felt, that if this profile has a lot of variety to offer, lot of learning opportunities, and as you know that I'm more into learning, I like to explore more opportunities and things in that specific profile also. So this is what intrigued me about HR, and so I am here on the place where I am today as an HR VP working with Accenture. So I feel really good that that point hit me, and I went for it, I tried for it, and I became an HR.
Absolutely. So one question I always come across, Adiba, when I have this career coaching and all, how did you convince that first employer that I am an engineer, but I want to be in HR? Or, because that is the time you had no formal education also in HR, isn't it? So how did you convince that? If you can, tell us that moment, that will be really great.
So I think that it's difficult for any organization also to believe that without any kind of certifications or courses that you have that right kind of skill set. But I think it's important to show that you have a passion for learning. That even if you don't know something, if given a job or if given an opportunity, you'll still try your best to learn on the job and perform. And when you start, you don't really get big projects. You get small things to do, things that might not even really count as work at times. But it's just that the learning that comes with it is so huge that I believe you should never say no to that kind of opportunity, because then slowly you get an understanding of what the function is and start getting bigger opportunities as you move ahead. So my advice to anyone who is not in HR but wants to get into HR is to be open to whatever comes your way, because the initial step would be to learn and be open to that entire process.
You said it. I think that is very, very important. And, what do you think, Mahima? Like, how did you take that part? I mean, getting that first opportunity, what exactly helped you? Because, I feel that everyone, like there are so many freshers here, there are so many participants who want to shift in HR also. They have this question that most of the time the interviewers ask them this question, uh, why HR now? Now, because now it was like you invested your learned many years in one stream and now you're shifting one. And second, how did you convince them that, I'm suitable for HR?
Ma'am, I basically moved internally in my organization into that domain. So once I was a part of that organization, through internal platforms and also through external courses, because I was very much fascinated to be a part of that domain, I was constantly working on it. Not only some big certifications, but also some articles to read, some things to understand that what basically HR has to offer and what skills I could inculcate in myself, in what aspects I can grow to be a part of HR and become an HR professional. So my first break that I got was in my first organization only, where I moved internally into learning and development. So I moved into learning and development. There I handled a lot of gamuts of HR. Then I moved into client relations as well. So I have explored a lot of things internally into HR also to find my best fit. And therefore, I feel that I have actually explored a lot of things. And by constantly upskilling myself, and also when I was giving some of the interview process in my organization internally also, to understand, I actually convinced them by saying that I have these skills and I can showcase those skills with the certifications I have. I passed a round of interview processes that were related to communication, writing skills, listening skills, some basic tests as well. So I did not consider that even as a part of organization, why are they giving me such kind of tests and assessing me on these small parameters? But now I feel that it was really important that they assessed me, that they gave me this break and I could showcase my skills and my exceptional skills in that relevant field.
Amazing. I think, yes, if you are looking forward for a shift, internal shift also becomes very important. And that is a really one of the great way to shift your career because they have already tested you, they know you. However, they will not make, they will not ask, they will just not take you because you're there. You really need to double proof that, yes, I want to go ahead. I will be the good, candidate for it. I think you have to go through the similar interview process. Only thing is this, the advantage is they know you, especially your behavioral aspect like achievement orientation, commitment, dedication. They have tested you. So only technical aspect comes into the picture. So I think that is what internal transfers can help you, maybe IJPs and all, right? Great. So Adipa, I would like to know, like, I've seen you coming to my cabin and taking it. I was the career advisor. Am I right? Am I right that time? Yes. So that was, you can say that now we have around 30 career advisors with us. However, that time, we were only two people working in the company, and Adiba is from that particular time. So Adiba, I just would like to know that, do you think this particular course which we have, HR generalist, did it help you to take your career on next level?
Yes, ma'am, definitely. So, and I would not say this because I'm here on this platform. So I want to make it clear that it genuinely really gave me that kind of understanding of what I really like in HR. So what people usually believe is, okay, HR, you like people, so you will get into human resource. But there is so much to the field. And to get that kind of holistic understanding, the certification really gave me that kind of view that what all comes under HR, and to also figure out that what really works for me and what doesn't. So it is during that time that I realized that L&D is something that I'm really passionate about, because I went through those workshops. So there's this entire 1 day program that we had for young trainers.
Yes.
Yes. So because I went through that program and I saw that entire thing in action, I also interned with you and I saw your work around corporate training. So which gave me a really good understanding in terms of what I like in HR. So I think that the certification, whoever is starting in the generalist program, gives you an overview that what entire HR bouquet has. And then you can understand where your skill sets fit in. So for me, it really worked amazingly. I got my next role also because of that. So I started as an assistant manager in L&D with no other skill set or certifications or formal education apart from that. And so obviously the process is not easy. You have to prove yourself, you have to learn, you have to upskill. But the program did give me that push initially when I started.
Amazing, Adiba. And let me also tell you that what she's saying, that very important, that every time, every program may not end up in giving you a job. Sometimes it will give you a career clarity that, yes, this is what I want to do. Sometimes you cannot go for bigger courses like MBA, give 2 years of your life and spend 8 to 10 lakhs for the programs and, all these things. But one short program can give you a lot of understanding. You can test the water, you will get the clarity, and you may go on next level. That can be from A to A1 shift, may not be A to Z shift, but that shift makes a huge difference. And let me tell you, when Adiba was interning with me, today, the big name is there on LinkedIn and everywhere, but she has certainly worked for it. Literally, when I used to conduct, corporate training programs, Adiba used to come 7 o'clock to my home. We used to pick up that big suitcase because we used to carry speakers and balls and whatnot for the training programs. And she used to click the photographs. She used to also make the reports of the training program. She also used to evaluate the feedback. And in that, she never crossed her limit of, going here and there, because in this corporate world, these things becomes very, very important, because if you are getting access to the clients, if you are going to get access directly, then your behavior matters a lot. And that is how, that makes a huge difference, that you will may get your next opportunity. There is nothing guaranteed in this life, but very important, moving from that maybe 0.5%, that is very, very important. So that's how about Adiba. So Mahima, I would like to know that, Adiba is from our classroom training program and Mahima is from Zoom. She's a product of Zoom. Online, yeah, online batch. So how was your experience? I mean, do you think that this particular program helped you And again, if there is any feedback, please be open about it, because I really don't want to talk, you want to talk, only goody goodies about the program. But if you have faced any challenges, that also you can express.
Ma'am, no challenges as such, but I would just like to highlight some major things that gave me a breakthrough, and this program was a real good push for me to excel in my career. When I was exploring about what do I need to do in HR and what is the best fit for me, ProTouch came into picture and I enrolled for the HR generalist program. So how the bifurcation we have, that we also have talent acquisition, we have payroll also, we have strategic HR also, and we cover the entire gamut of HR. And that is the first best thing that I could sense here, that the program gave an opportunity to explore everything and then realize where you want to go. So how Adiba briefed that because of that workshop, she could understand that L&D was really the thing where she wants to go. I could understand that SHRM or an HRBP kind of a profile is what intrigues me the most, is what fascinates me the most. And basically my skills match up to what is the expectation from that kind of a role in HR. And this was the first thing that I really liked about the program, and it really helped me to go ahead in that specific direction. I have done a lot of more certifications as well, but this was the realization point, the clarity point, that okay, if you have this path, if you want to become an HRBP, now you can go ahead and get some more specializations if you want, but this course would gave me an entire perspective about everything. Also, I would say it was a clear gateway for me to enter into that world, for me to understand things. Like beforehand, I was only a part of the team that handles campus recruitment. But when I was a part of this program, in talent acquisition module, we understood about the job portals. We actually practically implemented on various job portals like Monster and Shine. That was something that made me understand, okay, this is how talent acquisition, this is how recruitment rolls in an organization. It gave me a big picture, a clear picture. Also, what I could say, that this could also be understood as bridging the gap between skills and knowledge. So I only had the bookish and theoretical knowledge, but here is what I got, the practical implementation of those things. And that was the best part I could highlight it here.
Amazing.
The best thing.
Great, Mahima. And let me tell you, the platform is open for everyone, but what makes a difference is also how you utilize it. Because I've seen you sending maybe some personal messages, trying to connect with the trainers, or doing all the progress work on time, because progress work is where we feel, because we do not call it homework, we call it in the progress work, because we personally feel once you go home and you work on it, that is where the progress happens. There will be a lot of case studies, there will be a lot of work which you need to do, maybe in the groups sometimes, maybe alone sometimes, but that is where your realization happens. Because I've seen our classes generally never ends up in 3 hours, it always get extended. So 4 hours dose you may get, but however, it is very important, how do you utilize it, how do you work on it at home. And that is where you feel like, and you sit like this in front of the system. What is KRA? What is SMART goals? Now my KPI is missing. So all these things, and our WhatsApp group is also so active that is where people correct your answers and say it's wrong, right, whatever. So thank you so much for sharing with me. And there is one specific question has come for Adiba. Let me take that question. That ever since being an HR, have ever been in dilemma? I think Shiva has said that. How did it go? Pardon, question to Adiba. Did you able to get this question, Adiba?
So I'm not sure if Shiva means that dilemma in terms of having this career as an HR. If that's the question, then I don't think so that I've ever had that kind of confusion. So I've always thought of whether I have skills that are enough for the role. So I've had those doubts that, oh, do I really know enough right now? So at always those points, I went back to the books, I went back to courses online, did something more in my career. But I always realized that this is something that I have my passion associated with. So sooner or later, I will be able to find my way. So that was always there. But yeah, I did had doubts on my skills, and I kept on learning more to ensure that I'm good at what I'm doing.
Okay. So that's nice, Adiba. Thank you so much for that. And I will give you one tip today. Very important. Don't follow your friends and trends. Both can be misleading. What is important is what you want. Because till now, all the decisions, maximum big decisions like which stream to go, science, arts, commerce, my friends are going. Whether to do MBA or not, my friends are doing. You know, and that can be misleading. Like I was talking to one of our student, because we also do a lot of career coaching and one-on-one with our students here, and she was saying, I rejected the offer which I got from Bangalore, and because my friends were in Delhi, and now I realize they all have vanished. I'm the only one sitting here. So please understand, over a period of time, your friends and trains will be misleading. So what is it that you want, which makes a huge difference? There is another question is coming up that, whether HR will be there or not. Till the time each and every person gets replaced by robots, HR will be there. HR will, for example, may get outsourced. There might be HR shared services companies will be coming up. There will be dedicated people will be working for this job, but HR will remain there. So first of all, that is something you need to all think about it. And especially during COVID time, HR's importance is what everyone has realized it very well. So there is a second question coming up. Kirti is asking, I'm a graduate from HR specialization itself, but I'm not getting my dream job as I thought. When I joined the degree college, now I have a perspective that just degree is not enough. What should I do? I think, Adiba, if you can address this question. Kirti. Thank you, Kirti, for that question. Yes.
Sure, ma'am. So, Kirti, it's a very good question also, because a lot of times we think that now we have got this degree and it will be easier to move ahead in career with it. So it's all right if you're not getting your dream job right now. That's perfectly all right. But it's important to start somewhere. So even if you get internships in that area, even if those internships are not paying you anything or not getting a stipend, you still start, because you'll be building your profile with that. So maybe in a couple of months or maybe a year that you'll have to struggle, but once you have your profile with those kind of skill sets, it will be easier for you to move towards your dream job. So starting is never easy, and don't worry if you're not getting it right now. It's important to just continue in that particular path. So yeah,
So
that would be my 2 cents to
very
you.
nice, Adiba. And from my side, I would like to add something. Our college education is still not a professional education. Professional means practicality still lacks. Now, I have also worked with colleges, and I left that career, especially when people say, oh, you're a professor, you're a doctorate, now 9 to 5 job. I left it. You know why? Because I was having a suffocation. Why? Because I have to teach students what is there in age-old syllabus. And I worked in corporate, I was always in touch with industry. I was knowing that I'm not justifying my job. I'm not justifying my job, right? And there was no scope of giving practical, because if I give you practical, you are not going to able to get those marks, right? So practical knowledge is very important. So make sure if you are joining any course that you are getting practical knowledge. Okay. Along with theory, like for example, in ProTouch also we follow 70:30 ratio. So 30% theory is important. Concept is important, but 70% you need to work on it. You know, internship, writing articles, having your blogs, connecting with the right kind of people, it is certainly going to, you know, make a huge difference. Only degree will not help. Degree is like a visa. You get entry. But is there anyone who would like to have that plain pizza? We want toppings. We are very specific about what is it that we are ordering, isn't it? In the similar way, plain basic pizzas are available everywhere, but how are you decorating? What is that X factor you're bringing to the workplace that makes a huge difference? So I hope, Kirti, we address your query. Great. Uh, Mahesh is saying MBA HR versus certificate HR course. Please explain. Would you like to take up Mahima? MBA HR versus certificate course.
Definitely, ma'am. So basically, one is degree and another is certification. We cannot; these both have different pros and cons, and we cannot just compare it on a single parameter. Certifications are just short-term courses that provide you with the perspective and those relevant skills that you have to gain and you can excel. A degree, as ma'am suggested, a degree can be a gateway or it can open doors for you to achieve your dream job, but a certification could be that topping, that specialization that will make you excel in that specific field. So basically, we just cannot compare these two. At the point, if you wish to go into HR, you wish to succeed into HR, and you're just starting off, you can choose some certification which provides you with the approach of entire HR, all the gamuts of HR, and then understand if this is for you. And maybe then going ahead, you can go and pursue an MBA. That could be the process you can follow.
Wonderful. I think that you said it very right. First of all, find out your love, your passion. Do you want to get into HR? Do you? Then you can also look for MBA. That is one way. But I would like to mention one classic case. Like there is one student, getting into any specialized field in HR, like for example, payroll or L&D. At the beginning is it is not that easy. But one of our students who was doing MBA, and in his fourth semester, he played it very, very, I will say, very, very strategically. He was in third semester or so. In the third semester, he took this course. So that by fourth semester, when campus recruitment was happening, he was able to appear and he could get that, extra edge than others. And he got into payroll. Their professors called us and said that this is first time it has happened that a fresher got into payroll. Payroll is a very technical field, and very, very few, uh, are very comfortable with payroll because we are generally number challenged, many people. So that can happen. Okay. But you have to play strategically. I will also say that if you are looking for only degree, do not go for distant degree or something which may not add. You are happy with that degree, but ultimately you have to have that good knowledge. And big companies do not give preference to distance education. So if you want to go, then I will say go ahead with full-time MBA properly. Okay, so that is what that will be my suggestion. So Prasanna is asking, I have done MBA, so do I need to go for another step? I'm working now, but something maybe I'm not satisfied. So I need to go ahead. Please suggest in HR analytics. I think Prasanna, I will say that one of our career advisors must be in touch with you, Prasanna. If not, I will say I'm giving you his number. His number is 880000. So, you can contact Mohit on this number. He's from HR Analytics vertical, and he will be able to give you a lot of insights. But certainly to go for HR Analytics, we will say that your HR basic knowledge, generalist knowledge should be really good. Okay. So Vishal is asking, I want to shift to HR profession, but unable to do because I do not have a relevant experience. Adiba, would you like to take up that?
So that tends to be a challenge if you don't have a relevant experience. But experience doesn't always have to be a full-time experience that you're opting for. So if you're working and if you can take up projects with some sort of HR projects in your organization, or some sort of pro bono work, just to understand how the field works. If you have an opportunity, if you have the time, and if you can take up internships, that will be a great add-on to shift and show that you have some sort of understanding of the field. Then obviously there are programs like the HR generalist program where you get practical understanding also. So these things can help you in showing that you have a relevant understanding of the field, if not a full-time experience, but something that you have done to explore the field at least.
So Vishal, I would also like to add here, do not think that you have not got a relevant experience. You have experience. You have to have a proper marriage now. What do I mean by that? Like for example, one person has worked in IT, okay? And now you got knowledge about maybe, HR generalist, you have done some course and something, now you know about it. So while pitching to HR, first of all, target IT companies. Okay. Second, you can say, now I have already worked as a developer. I have already worked in technology department. So I know the pulses very well. And hence recruitment, talent acquisition will become very easy for me because I know the field very well. Right. So please understand how do you, then that is where you have to do bullseye height, hunting. Like for example, yesterday only I was talking to one more candidate. She was in tears that, I did a wrong decision by joining a business analyst role. And now I want to get into L&D. I said, why? Because for L&D, understanding business is so very important. Until and unless you don't understand the business function, how will you develop the skills? Because in corporates, when you are delivering the L&D, you just cannot go and talk concept until and unless you do not connect with business productivity. And then we said, then you can contact the consultants right now. Tell them that I can look after your business development part also a little bit, but give me 30% L&D. So you have to go percentage wise. You will not get 100% role, but you will get 30-70, 50-50. And then your role get divided into two parts. I want to do and I have to do. But when you have to do, we are getting gift, right? That gift, if you want to relish for a longer time, then you have to do certain things. Okay, Vishal. So I hope you get answer for that. Okay. Now we will go to Deepa. Deepa is saying, I have an MBA degree in HR, worked only a year in HR profile. Then my career shift drastically and moved to call center. Now I have experience around 7 years, but
Hello.
I'm not feeling good and want to move to
Hello.
HR profile. Just a minute, please. We will take your query, Vishal. Just give me a minute. Okay. So now this is another question we have. Deepa. So now after 7 years, she wants to come back. Can she? Adiba?
Definitely, ma'am. So, what would be needed here is to upskill yourself again, because in 7 years, things would have changed in industry also. So, if you can get an understanding of what is happening currently in the industry and do some sort of, because you already have an HR degree, you come with some experience also in that field. If you can go back to and just refresh it once, that can really help you in going back in that area. With call center also, you have developed some sort of skills. It's not that it's not a relevant experience. You would have got some skills that you can still utilize. Maybe you'll have to start small because you're trying to again have a shift in your career, but that doesn't mean that it cannot be done. It's just that you'll have to get back into that zone again.
Absolutely. I think, Adiba, it is like a career is like a long journey on a highway, and you have to stop to fill that fuel, right? And make sure that you take that pause, fuel properly. Otherwise, what will happen? Once you will start journey, you will always tensed and you will say, oh my God, petrol khatam to nahi ho jayega. Oh my God, will that be enough or not? Why do you want to take that pressure? So, the time has gone when you have one degree and entire career is done. No, after every 3-4 years, you will face a stagnation and feel happy that time that, okay, the time of fueling up has come. Okay. So after 3-4 years, one knowledge can take you till only, like, for example, students who are doing right now HR generalist with us, I'm sure after 3 years, they will come back to do HR analytics. And the smart people are doing both the courses together. Like, I will complete HR generalist because they think that I'm sure that I will not get time in my life to learn again. Abhi jo maine break liya hai, in that break only I can complete these 2 courses. So there are people like who are upgrading. Okay. So think about it, Deepa. Transition in career is always going to be there. Okay. So best part here is, Deepa, for you is, now the time has come to fuel. Okay, great. So can we go back to Vishal? Vishal wanted to say something. Vishal, unmute yourself. Are you there, Vishal? Yeah, Vishal is here. Yes, Vishal.
Okay, ma'am, my query is resolved, ma'am, actually.
Resolved. Great. So now we move to Dimple. Dimple is saying, I'm banking professional working full time currently from few years. I also always wanted to be in an important role of management. So in meantime, got ProTouch learning HR skill. I'm currently trying for internship, but not getting. Okay, I'm not getting interviews also. It's because of my profile. Can we guide? Can I do? I'm openly ready for non-paid internship. Okay. So I think Dimple, I don't know whether we had a talk on one-on-one or not. Okay. So we really get in touch with me. You must be having my number. Let me speak to you on one-on-one and then we can take it ahead. Because you know that, Dimple, that you must be receiving a lot of openings also every day from ProTouch. In fact, tomorrow also we have a job fair, 4 companies are coming and, almost 6 people are going for interview in Noida. That is also happening. Okay. However, yes, each and every case is different. Like yesterday, I was talking to someone from Agra. So, the location also comes into the picture. Are you ready to relocate? That also comes into the picture. So we need to talk on this and then we will take it ahead. Okay. So that is how we will go ahead. Okay. Kirti, thank you so much, Kirti. Okay, Mahima, the question has come for you. Suraj is asking, as you said that you moved to HR domain internally within your company, I'm pursuing MBA program in marketing and thinking of taking HR as minor. So my question is it possible for me to switch to HR on later phase?
I think yes. If you are planning to pursue marketing as your majors and HR as your minor, that will give you a perspective about what HR is. And according to my opinion, I feel that marketing people also deal with business. They have to market their products. And similar as an HR, we do employer branding. We have our organizations whom we brand for. We are the face of that organization, and I so feel that these two fields have a lot of similarity. Even if you study HR as your minors and take up some specialized certifications, it would be a really good approach for you to follow, and then definitely you can transition into HR.
Yes, amazing. So Purnima is asking, as an HR, you need to be strong communication skills. Purnima, I will take that question because every job has got some skills which are must have, and another skill is technical skill. We always say there are some common competencies and there are some technical competencies. And communication skill, not as an HR, everywhere you will need. Okay. Only thing is this, the empathetic way of talking, having a lot of patience, because people never comes to you and say, wow, this company is good and my experience is fabulous and awesome. I'm so happy here. People will come with only grievances to you, right? So do you have patience to handle those grievances and all? So these are the certain things will be very specific. However, I cannot say that marketing person will not need it. However, I cannot say that call center person will not need it. So these are some set of competencies which are required. A humble suggestion to all of you. If your English is not good, and if you think, and if you have received feedback that you need to work on it, I will say invest in your communication. Go to classes and get that English right. Because you cannot drag your life with that. You will put your career on fast track mode if your communication is good. I will say don't even come to ProTouch and don't do this course, but invest in English first. Now, either we can have a debate that do you really think so? हम इंडिया में रहते हैं, फिर हमारी हिंदी language है, or whatever it is, companies are not going to deal with that. The time has gone. So better you get really good with your communication, speaking as well as written communication, because HR needs to write a lot of emails, draft a lot of policies, everything. So please get corrected on that, Purnima. Okay, so Akshay is here. I'm 29 now and I'm returning to HR after 4 years. I have given 3 interviews, but my profile has been rejected due to age, experience in other field. How can I clear my interviews? Great. Anyone would like to take up that question? Thank you, Akshay, for that. Yes. Adiba?
Yeah. So again, so don't get into that mental block that you're 29 and it's going to be difficult. I know that you might be facing issues right now, but 3 interviews or 4 interviews are not good enough sample size to think that it will not happen. So firstly, I would really request you to not think that it's because of age or because of any sort of restriction in terms of what you have done previously. Everything that you have done can be changed into a storyline that can help you in getting your next job. It's just that you need to identify what would help you from what you have done so far. And then obviously you'll have to upskill yourself to get into whichever new field you are getting into. It's not just HR. So if you think about getting into marketing tomorrow, you'll have to really understand what's happening in marketing and do something around it. So that would be one thing, that you get that confidence that it can happen and it will happen. Start slow. If you can get some sort of projects or internships to work on, if you can build your skills a bit more and keep trying with more interviews, there will be some or the other role where you'll have a good fitment with respect to what you've previously done. So maybe organizations or industries that you've worked in that can have a good fit for the HR requirement that you're bringing in.
And
Thank-
29 is not the age.
Yeah.
You are very young. And see, if you look at it, 4 years, that means you are on track. That means you have not taken any career breaks or something like that, isn't it? So shift is possible, as I always say that, whenever traffic is merging, whenever you are entering from violence, there is going to be one slow period for you. Okay.
Sorry, Aparna, I'm sorry for interruption. Actually, after my MBA in HR, I had started my career as a faculty.
Huh.
So that's the main thing. That's the main issue I'm facing. That I have a total experience of 3 years experience as a faculty.
Hmm.
But I have interviewed 3 to 4 companies. But I think that what I felt that they are hesitating to select me. Maybe I'm also working on my MS Office skills. But since I am on this podium now, so I would like to ask you, Miss Mahima and Miss Adiba, that what skills do I need to develop so that I can be in the picture of selection? That's what I want to ask.
Great.
Mahima, would you like to take this?
Definitely. So I will just suggest you one thing here, that when I was planning to go into HR field, or even I was moving internally, there were a lot of skills that were required and I did not have it. But you should not consider that once you have received a failure, you'll going ahead also receive a failure. You should always work on that trajectory, work on that path, be confident, and you will be able to achieve it. Constantly upskilling is important. Like you mentioned that you have you are upskilling yourself in MS Office and you are planning to gain some more skills, and that would be the most important for you to succeed. So just don't lose hope and feel that you are not able to achieve that. You will be able to achieve that.
But Mahima, I think won't it be a counting the gap, because I am upskilling because I have a break now and I left my previous job. But don't you think that recruiter will count it as a gap? I mean, it might have a bad impact.
How many years of gap you have?
No, I just have only 2 months gap now, because on
I do not think that is a career break or a gap that you are considering. As far as you're able to bring relevant skills on table for the recruiter to select you, you will definitely be selected. You just need to keep the skills relevant according to the job you're applying for.
Okay.
And definitely your selection would happen.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I would like to give another suggestion to you, because you have worked in as a faculty, right? Yes, there is, because I could relate to you, because I also worked as a faculty and then I came here. Getting my point? Because I have seen that. So there is a mental block here that, academicians cannot handle industry challenges. So that mental block is going to be there for a little while. So what I will suggest to you is, if you can join any academics where you can look after maybe campus recruitment, maybe, where you can get in touch back with the corporate, where you can develop your network, and you will develop your network so much so that they should be able to offer your job. Kyun? Akshay kaam baat sahi karta. Akshay knows recruitment. Akshay knows profiling. Getting my point? So what will happen? You are in academics, so academicians will not say no to you. Another thing is this, you will, so, we really need to strategically plan this. Okay. And then you will get into this. That is one way. Or you can join any startup, because they will look at talent in you. They want experienced person. Let me tell you very openly right now, but at lesser cost. Getting my point? So you may get lesser cost, but however, they will get experienced people and you will get a profile. So it's a win-win for everyone.
Sorry, can you repeat this one, ma'am? I didn't get it.
Okay, there are so many questions lined up. I will just quickly tell you that you can either, another thing is, first you can go to academic, get into campus recruitment, get into corporate relations, so that you can develop your network, and the next maybe 1 or 2 years you can see the shift. Second, you can go to the startup where they want experienced person like you, maybe at little lesser cost. So, but you will get the profile. So very important, if you want to look for a shift, अगर आप 1 साल के लिए भी shift हो गए, है ना? Your next start will be really good. So that is what is my suggestion to you.
Thank you.
Great. So Swati has got a question for Mahima. 8 years of experience in psychology field, and now just completed MA, Industrial and Organizational Psychology degree. I don't have experience in HR field and now searching for the job. What kind of skills I need to acquire for this field?
I feel, Swati, that being an MA in organizational psychology, you would have some kind of relevant skills that we also learn as a part of organizational behavior when we learn in HR. So I think if you could put down those skills on your resume and prove that you have those relevant skills like leadership, decision making, analyzing things, and then you can be one of the best HR professionals in the market, I say. You have those relevant skills already in you. You just need to understand that you have already gained it and put it on resume and put it in front of the recruiter, showcase them, and that would do the work.
Amazing. I think, Swati, you can also look forward for some kind of, psychometrics analysis. So because you come from a psychology background, if you can have some psychometrics like MBTI and 16PF and all this, your recruiters will be very happy to take you. So your journey will start from recruitment. That is what I get to see. Or in L&D, that is learning and development. Okay. So to shift little bit, you need to start conducting training sessions on your own. Or there are many students from psychology have come to us. They have done a quick course of, 3 months, which we are offering. And that gives the sufficient understanding how the HR is. And that becomes a really great combination. Let me tell you, when psychology HR, MSW HR, these are great combinations to have. So if you can invest little bit or invest in MBTI and 16PF and all, it will give you a lot of edge over others. Hope that helps you. Yes, Mahesh is asking, Adiba, extracurricular activities and certificate during college, will that be helpful for placements?
Yes, definitely, Mahesh. So whatever you do in your college or any sort of extracurricular activities that you have done, it adds on definitely during your screening of CV. So you do stand out there in comparison to other candidates. Also, it adds value when you're talking about yourself. So when in an interview, when you're highlighting, so a lot of times interviews are also situation based, where they'll ask you where you have demonstrated those kind of skills. And it's not necessary that you always demonstrate a skill in a work scenario. It can be like, for instance, team management. While you're organizing an event, there might be a team that you're managing, or you're just starting, but you don't have a formal leadership experience, but you have led a team while in college or doing something. Those things also showcase what kind of skill set you're bringing. It doesn't always have to be. And also, when you talk about extracurricular, it gives a more holistic view about you, that you're not just into one thing, but that you have explored multiple areas and demonstrated your skills in multiple areas.
Absolutely. And Adiba herself does it a lot. She was heading a placement committee and all everything. So it has come very handy. So Apurva's question, when the 5 certificates will help me? Apurva, now there are two scenarios. Now, for example, I do not know what is your educational background and what is experience you have. First of all, these certificates, how it helps you for placements, let me tell you. It is a 90-hour course. It is not 1 hour, 2 hours course. It is a 90 hours rigorous course which you go through. Okay. Another thing is this, when you have YTP, POSH and HRCI and SHRM certificates, first of all, it conveys the recruiter that now you are serious about HR. The question itself, for example, oh, now would you like to change again or what? Sir, 90 hours. I've done 5 certifications. Do you really doubt? This makes your resume HR specific. Are you getting my point? Because there are 5 certificates to display, right? And very specialized certificates you have. So certainly your resume gets, start getting shortlisted and selecting. However, now, for example, Apurva, we also give 100% placement assistant. We do not give 100% placement guarantee because we believe God bhi nahi de sakta. No one can give you job guarantee. It is only in your hand, right? So you will get placement assistance. You will get a lot of, for example, we also prepare you for interview. Like, for example, today morning also we had some discussions with people who are going for interviews tomorrow. But ultimately, battle is yours, Apurva. Help मांगने का भी लिमिट होगा. आपको prove करना है. Okay? Yes. Support is there, but one day you need to swim on your own. Okay? That will be my take. I'm working as HR. Okay, so there are 28 messages I get to see, but I also have to look at the time. So I will take very few questions now. I'm working as a HR in Good Group. Start in HR certification course. Which course? I think Prashant, you must be in touch with one of our career advisors. If you are, please get in touch with them. If you want, you can speak to me on one-on-one, and then we can take this forward. I want to switch a career into HR field, but don't have any experience in HR field and skills we need. I think you come as a Shailaja, blank slate. That is the best thing to happen. You don't have any experience. So आपको unlearning करने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है, isn't it? So you start as a fresher, and every fresher has struggled to get that one job. Once you get that one job, then the journey becomes. So you have to get that one job. I also struggled, Adiba struggled, Mahima struggled. There is not a single person who has not struggled, isn't it? But they have got the job. That's how. Is technical knowledge required in HR generalist? So Umesh, again, you have to be very specific. What do you mean by technical knowledge here? Because technical knowledge differs. I think, Shweta, it totally depends on your priority, because priority, because right now, if you are just in job, if you really need a job, don't be very choosy, isn't it? Just go ahead, whatever comes in your way, take that job and go ahead. That is what I will say. Because if you are in need, if you can sustain financially, then wait for that good role opportunity. Okay. Great. I think Prasanna has been taken care. Yes. So Ayesha, very specific query you have. I think you have a lot of experience. You need to speak to me. If you have, Mahima said that connected to people interaction with a variable employee. So Mahima, would you like to take Ayesha's case here? I'm secretary to CEO and have experience of 6 years, 4 years, and 4 years secretary experience, and 2+ years now in talent manager in media. Tell me if I can go for HR role, because a I like the HR part. So can I shift? That is what she's asking.
Okay, so Aisha, what I could understand from your career trajectory is that you have good 8 years of experience. And what I said is when you the HR profile has that human touch when you connect with people, understand their pulse, interact with your employees or your potential employees on a regular basis. I think being a talent manager in any of the sector or being a secretary, you do have the knowledge of connecting with people, interacting people, understanding their problems, handling their grievances. And if so, a certification to justify and to put a stamp on the relevant skills you have, also for upskilling yourself. If you have this package, definite, go ahead. You can go ahead and pursue any of the HR roles you want. And I think by doing the HR certification, you'll also get a clarity that after the career trajectory you have, in which role of HR also, or in which gamut of HR you actually wish to pursue ahead. In your career. So I think, does this answer your query?
Thank you, Mahima. It was a lovely one.
So now there is a question from Vivek. Okay, in the meanwhile, I have given my LinkedIn profile as well as our company information so that you can get in touch with me. However, Adiba, Mahima, they are also there on LinkedIn, but request to everyone, let's not cross our personal space. I request everyone, because sometimes we have seen, on LinkedIn and social media platforms, people tend to cross their limits. So I hope we all know we are on professional platform. So Vivek has a question here. Let me see, what is Vivek saying? Working with XYZ bank and 3 months, but not happy with that. I've done my MBA in HR. I don't have any practical experience, and this course is for me. I will get some good companies. Vivek, good company has got a very different definition for everyone. Good company for someone who gives work from home. Good company for someone who has got a great pantry and great weavers, and great company for someone having a great career and great training and development. So let me tell you, Vivek, this definition of good company is completely subjective. What is most important for you is your profile. Look for a good profile, and then you can get it. If you look at everyone's starting career will be very different. Okay, so you have to have a strategy. What is it that you want? You want a HR role, or you want a salary, or you want a great brand. And there is nothing wrong of having all these, different priorities. Someone wants to work with a great brand. Someone wants to have a great salary, and someone wants to have a great role. What is it that you want? So let me tell you, whenever people are doing this course, some people are getting placed from us. In fact, there was one of the panelists wanted to join today, but she has a problem. That's why she could not join today. Few people have got placement from us. We have not given placement to Mahima. We have not given placement to Adiba. We believe in facilitating your career. We believe in you in taking, step up your career. That is what we believe in. They don't give any guarantee. I want to be very, very open about it. And I'm very proud of it that, we really don't want to fool anyone's dream, because I have seen this happening and it is very painful. Okay, why they keep saying that once they have consultancy experience? Mugdha, okay, would you like to take up, Adiba? Why they keep saying that once you have a consultancy experience, it shuts doors in corporates?
I think that it's more of a mindset that some people have, that if you've worked in consultancy, it might be difficult. And it's from both ends. I'm not saying only from a participant's end, but also from recruiter's end. It's generally because they feel that you might not have an understanding of a larger gamut of work. And that is where you have to prove them wrong. So what they believe, what a mindset could be, that if you're coming from consultancy, you only have an understanding from a recruiter's perspective, but not understand business, because you have never worked with business on that side, or not invested a lot there. So that is where you have to prove and show them that you understand business and you can take up this challenge as well. So it's all about convincing. A lot of work in the interview is about convincing the other person, or selling yourself in a way, in a very rude way, to say that you can do it. And that is where the entire difference would be, that if you don't have exposure in that area, through knowledge, through practical learnings and smaller projects, you can compensate for that.
Absolutely. I think you said it very right, Adiba. Sometimes becomes your monotonous work in consultancy. So you do not know the team dynamics of it, the entire gamut of it, because you just screen. You don't select, So get more into that, like for example, when you go for the interviews, or can you talk about recruitment metrics? Can you talk about recruitment trackers? Can you talk about hit ratio? Can you talk about, TAT? You have to show that you know much beyond, to get into companies. And I have seen many people going in companies. Okay. So, but you need to show that you know all about. So then only you will be able to go. So there is one personal message also I'm receiving about distance education. Please go ahead. I'm not saying no. Okay, go ahead. But somewhere the reality is also there. Okay, education is education. If you do distance education, you are studying well, you are doing well, fine. But unfortunately, companies are not looking at that. Then what happens? At the beginning of the career, you're fine with it. But once you go 3-4 years down the line, you will start competing with people who have got full-time MBA and all. Right? And then you will see you get stuck there. Getting my point? So it has to be a conscious call. ठीक है, मुझे करना है, मैं करना चाहता हूँ, go ahead. Otherwise, there is also option that, you work for 4-5 years and then you do executive MBA or something, right? That is another way also you can work on it. So that will be my suggestion. But, honestly speaking, you have to take call on your experience also. I think all the questions we are done with, and almost all questions we have addressed. I don't think so anything is remaining now. So Lavanya, yes, and some people are asking to connect with me. Get connected with our career advisors. I'm sure that career advisors must be there. If not, then you can contact on 8800-555. This is our common number, okay? And you can reach to any of our career advisors, and they will advise you. And if required, they will also connect with me or the experts to have that career counseling. Okay. I think that's all we have done. Amazing. I think we had a very, very informal talk, right? And we could address many queries. So what are the last 3 tips you would like to give it to the people? Over to you, Mahima, first. Go ahead.
Ma'am, the 3 tips that I would like to give to the participants is one of my own personal mantra. The first one is that I really follow the secret of getting ahead is to get started. So one of the things is to just start and then you'll get ahead. The second is to constantly upskill and learn. There is no age to it. And you actually have to upskill yourself to be relevant. That there is no to it. You have to. And the third thing is, I just don't consider failures. And it could be something very bookish, but they are really the stepping stones. You need to be confident and see what is yet to come, just not moan over what actually happened. So you need to go ahead, get along, move on, and success is yours.
Great. Wonderful, Mahima. I also learned a lot from you. Excellent. Hiba, 3 tips.
So thank you, Mahima, for paving such a good benchmark there. So I think from a personal experience, you need to be very passionate about what you're doing. So do what you really believe in, irrespective of what people say. When I started, a lot of people said that I'll not be able to do it and that I'll not be able to make it. That's all right. Let them say it. But you need to have very strong faith in what you're doing. So that is what will take you ahead. The other is don't fear mistakes. It's okay. When you'll start, you'll fall down, you'll make a lot of mistakes, you'll make a fool of yourself a lot of times, and you'll not know, which is okay. And the third thing is that wherever you reach in your life, never believe that you know enough. So you would never, like, there's always something new to learn, and you have to continue that journey because it's never going to be enough from that perspective. And it's a good way because it keeps you on your toes and pushes you to do more in life. So that will be my piece of advice for you all. All the very best.
Very nice. From my side, I will give you Jack Ma's advice. First 10 years of career, don't say no to anything. In fact, think that you're getting paid for your learning. Isn't it wonderful? Right? So it's very, very, very important. First 10 years, explore, explore, explore. Next 10 years, decide what is your love and get into that. Someone asked the question, generalist and specialist. Specialist you will become after a decade, maybe little bit here and there also. Like Adiba is one of the fortunate, she realized her specialization at the early stage and she's into L&D, right? So you will come to know your specialization a decade after. Because if you want to be on top, you should know what is happening on floor. If you don't know, then being on top will be very tough, right? And in the next decade, that is later, start giving your experiences to the next generation. That will help them, isn't it? And on that note, I thank Adiba, Mahima, youngest panelist of Protest till now. And this has given us a lot of understanding that we need to have more and more younger people to come and share their experience, which will be more relevant, and they can share their struggles, what they have faced and what they are. Adiba, Mahima, your journey is still on, and you will be always in my prayers. I wish you all the very best for your brightest future.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks
Thank
a
you
lot.
so much, ma'am. Thank you for having us here.
Always.
Thank you everyone for hearing us.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.